way, he doesn't hurt her, which is an exception that doesn't exist for anybody else in the world. And that's something where he says something like that, like I would never hurt you. The implication being there is I would never do to you what I do to everybody else. So it seems affectionate in a way when it's sort of just like I would never like cut your throat and leave you upside down to bleed to death from hanging from a ceiling or something. I would never do that. That's how much I care. Yeah, that's the extent of his ability to. So there's a moment when his father becomes so despondent after all of this happens that he does eventually take his own, or he gets to the point where he's going to take his own life, and Sergei, who's just like, yep, Sakhalin's gone, mom's gone, whatever, I'm bored. You keep talking about this and you keep not doing it. So he helps. He assists his dad. So he murders him. He shoots him in the head, and then puts the gun in his father's hand. So everybody believes it's a suicide. They kind of probably think Sergei maybe helped, but it sort of doesn't matter at that stage. But that's the point at which, I was thinking, and this is something that just occurred to me because, again, as I pick these facts up out of other facts, like it potentially, when I already knew that was going to happen, I didn't initially have these two being briefly involved, but now that I do, now that the killing of his father the murder of his father was already a fact I had included, I have what I call bonus logic that I can now start to pull out of these existing things in order to craft something else. So like in this case, my question was, how do I break these two apart? Because it's not necessarily he's not going to let things fade off, and she's either going to just sort of disappear into the relationship and have it be totally physical and not, she just basically become more and more and more depressed. She is very, very depressed anyway, but like she would just become more dissociated. So she would not be, her personality would degrade basically. And like she would, it's like, it would have been really bad. But instead what happens is I think she would take initiative to end things, because he asks her, he's like, look, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go down into the new settlement that's built, and I'm going to establish, my power base there. It doesn't say so much, and she says, no, I'm not going with you. I don't love you. I don't really care about you. I'm not, it's like, the sex isn't that great, whatever. And that's that. Then instead of having, because initially I had her rejecting him because he kills his father, but instead I decided to make this the motivation for why he kills his father, being dumped and rejected, is that's when he decides to go and do the thing, and that just sort of confirms everything for her. And like, her family really, they care about his dad. His dad's a good guy. He's not. The fact that they only tolerate him because his dad's a good guy. So that's something they're like calling bonus logic. So where if you have enough of a lane, you have enough significant turning points, some serious beats, they will, when you need to solve or improve on a certain dramatic arc, they can sometimes provide you with the information you need that you already have. I love that. So that's why I named it bonus logic.